Why don't we start off with just something very basic?
Wait, we have to introduce ourselves first.
Oh my God, Spencer, do we have to introduce ourselves?
You ever you ever listen to any podcast ever?
I do. I have listened to any podcast ever, Spencer. Yes, I have.
You have to introduce yourself at the
Okay.
start.
All right. Why don't you go first, since you're the main like
The main
motivation.
DJ guy.
You're the main creative energy behind this project. You are really behind this for some reason. I don't know why.
Hey, what up, guys? It's your boy Spencer here, along with my pal Charles. Today we're gonna talk about stuff.
Is that right? We're going to talk about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure we're going to talk about stuff? Are you sure we're not going to talk about non-stuff?
I hope we talk about stuff and not stuff.
So introduce yourself, I guess. What other stuff do you do in life? You know, why do you like podcasts? Why do you want to make a podcast? I think to give people a good idea of who we are, you got to get a good background, right?
Well, you see, I listen to some podcasts and I talk about them sometimes. And then Charles, you were like, "I want to make a podcast." So I was like, "All right, sure, I'll help you out."
Yep, I did want to make a podcast. Not necessarily for, the huge fame and huge money. I'm clicking my mouse a lot right now. I don't know why. I really should stop that because my microphone picks it up. It's going to be like an entire 30-minute podcast of just... Hold on, let me get this up to the
You know what?
microphone. Hold on, ready.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah, you hear that?
Ooh.
All right. Let's get real. Okay, so what kind of podcasts do you listen to? Like, just give like a rundown. People probably know the names.
So, I mostly either listen to comedy podcasts, and I've been listening to D&D podcasts, which are pretty popular, I guess. My brother and me. That's a funny one. It's an advice show, but they only give bad advice. Yeah, I gotta keep talking. You don't have to.
Oh,
talk
well,
about
you
your
can
things,
transition it to me. This is how conversations work. You could be like, okay, that's all I got.
Oh, you're
now
right.
Your turn.
That's right. us terrible social interactors.
Look,
That's
we're,
right.
We're always terrible at everything.
So yeah, Charles, what do you think about your podcast?
So I'm not nearly as entertaining as you. I listen to Hello Internet. I listen to Cox and Crendor, and I listen to the Co-optional podcast. So, why am I clicking my mouse again? Oh my god, what a dumbass! All right, okay.
Like, where are you clicking on? Anything?
Nothing. I'm just
Ooh.
in this Discord chat, like highlighting things and then unhighlighting them over and over again. It's like people who pace. This is internet pacing.
That's when you're like nervous ticks.
Maybe. I've never recorded a podcast before, so this is.
You know what?
this is
Yeah,
fun.
like I guess everyone kind of really has nervous ticks. Like,
Unfortunately, mine is just really loud.
really loud.
All right. So basically, I listen to Hello Internet and Cox and Crendor, and they have a great two dudes talking. That's what they call it.
The Two Dudes Talking podcast.
Yeah, that's the format, right? And I thought, I've always wanted to get into audio editing and working with that kind of software because it'll be helpful in the future as a person. And maybe one day I'll try to make better art. But for now, we're just gonna have to, people just have to deal with our crappy podcast.
Just deal with us.
Yeah, exactly. Our 3 viewers that we're gonna get. Just know 3 viewers. One of them being my mom, one of them being me, one of them being Spencer.
And then, one other
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. I appreciate you, listeners. Just so you know, I'd like to imagine now we get no views, and then it's like
No.
we
Not
get
even
literally not even us. Yeah, we don't even watch ourselves.
We just feel bad about it. We're like, we're not even gonna brace ourselves.
That's right.
Like,
we're not even gonna deal with it. But yeah, basically, I just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun.
yeah, see, you girls just want to have fun.
Wanna have fun.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
Us
That's right.
talking about random things.
All right, so some little background. I am an engineering college student, so I'm a nerd. I like math and science. Play a lot of video games, as you do, Spencer.
Yep, I do that as well.
That's right. And our background is just nerdy. We like a lot of nerdy things.
We know too much about things that are not important.
That's right. Klingon as one, things like that. What is it? Kerplunk!
That's like the only word I know. I'm not dedicated enough to actually learn a whole language.
That's great. So let's have a look at our topic list here. I said to write 3 things down that we want to talk about each. One of mine was podcasts we listen to. So we already got that gone. We only,
We got that down.
we got that down. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
My laundry's
You know
done.
what that means, folks.
My laundry's done. That's what that means. That's what that means. Hold on, guys.
I thought we were transitioning into our next
Hold
exciting
on.
section.
Hold on. I'm going to leave the recording on, so you can say whatever you want, but I'm going to get my laundry.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay, see ya. So, I believe I was only going to hear this in the post-editing, so, Charles, how you doing? You having fun with your software and stuff? Pressing all those buttons, looking through all the audio? It's pretty early, but, you probably just started re-listening to this stuff, but I just want to know I have your back, Charles. Wait. Hold on. Is he?
Alright.
That's a door.
Hold on.
You return!
I'm back. Woo!
And we're back.
I'm a little bit out of breath.
Had a run, just sprint.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. My apartment, right? There's the normal entrance and exit, which is the front door, and that's where you can enter through the apartment, you can get to where you need to go, and whatever. But then the laundry system, we have a washer and dryer in the basement. You cannot reach that through the normal exit and entrance. So there's a door in my room that leads to the basement.
So,
And
what?
Yeah, exactly. So you know how in a normal apartment you have your normal door that you go out and go in, but then in my room there's another door that leads to the basement. It's a completely different set of stairs, and every single apartment has one, and it's just like in a room. So that means
every apartment's just connected to just one room.
Exactly. So that means if I have to take out the trash, if I have to take out the recycling, if I have to wash my clothes, people have to go through my room.
Oh.
And my
That's kinda
room
creepy.
is already really tiny, so it's all
Are
sorts of fun.
Are the bathrooms separate, or is it like a single bathroom
Bathrooms are
that's
separate.
shared? All right, you got that going for you.
Yeah. So the only thing is like the door that leads to the basement. So basically, when people walk down, I can hear them. And these doors actually have little bells, and they have little turn knobs, and you turn the knob and it rings a bell on the other side. It's really funny.
Oh man, well I could tell you some of the horrors of the shared bathrooms because I lived in dorms
Yeah.
for first year. So shared bathrooms, they're not good. I mean, you clean them probably every day.
Controversial
but not really
opinion.
Controversial opinion. Public bathrooms are terrible.
Oh, man, you're starting off very
I complain about
controversial.
public bathrooms and shared bathrooms in a dorm, but if they're the only place that you have, that's not fun. You have to wear shoes in there. Even you take a shower in there, you gotta wear shoes because you don't know if you're gonna get
definitely,
athlete's foot suddenly.
Definitely.
You don't know
had
what people
shower
do
shoes. I had shower shoes last
Yeah,
year.
you gotta have the shower shoes. People blast music on
Oh my,
speakers
yes.
in the bathrooms.
In particular, it's like those beets that look like the loaf of bread. They're like a
Yeah.
oblong shape, and they always
They're
blast the worst music. It's great.
It's just super loud, the
All the time.
hip hop or whatever normally.
Yeah. You mean trap?
Yeah,
Trap?
but no other kind of people who they don't listen to any other kind of music. Only the people who listen to that kind of music does that.
No, there's no one blasting like Elton John or like Johnny Cash. It's always trap music.
It's just trap music.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As men, we've never been inside a women's bathroom, obviously. At least I think.
Exactly.
At least I think so,
It's
Spencer.
the biggest mystery.
I think you haven't, but
I have not.
according to sources, specifically women, the women public bathroom in the dorms, their shared bathroom, is 10 times more gross than our bathrooms.
Now, I've heard something about this topic. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've heard somewhere between the men and the women's. The men's bathrooms are, consistently dirty. On a 5 out of 10 scale, it's, consistently around, a 6 or a 5.
Okay.
But, on a women's bathroom, it's very fluctuating. Sometimes it's it's on a 4 dirty, but then other times it's like, ooh, 8 dirty, just suddenly.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. But, so, for example, right, in the men's bathroom, the worst that ever happened was, like, underwear got left, and people just forgot their underwear in the showers, and that's about it. But in the women's bathroom, it was, like, hairs everywhere. There's just bodily fluids, places where the bodily fluids shouldn't be. Oh, man.
Here, let me just shave on the toilet really fast.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. That's why I appreciate having my own bathroom now with my two other roommates. So
yeah. Even if it is shared with just a couple people, as long as you know who it is, you can use it.
Exactly. Yeah. So my thing that I found interesting. So both of my roommates are women, and one of the things that I found really interesting is they just leave their razors and like shampoo and stuff just on the side of the bathtub, which I found very strange because I was like, we have a cat. That cat is gonna knock over all of those things. I don't know why you're putting it there. I have my shampoo and soap in a little shower caddy, like the metal hanging thing that you can just hang up in your bathroom, and I put my stuff there because I know the cat, usually isn't interested in that. And also, when I'm stepping out of the bathtub, I'm not gonna knock it over, unlike their stuff.
For holding the shampoo bottles and stuff, like, you gotta have a some sort of like cage with like sides on it, because if there's no sides, it's gonna fall off. And sometimes they're full and they land right on your foot. All right. Sometimes it doesn't hurt, but sometimes they have really weird bottles and they just stab into you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not a serious injury, but like, I don't want stuff falling on my feet and causing me injury.
All right, let me pour a glass for myself. I just finished my glass of pineapple orange guava juice.
I have orange guava juice.
My mom came up a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, to Boston, and she dropped off a bunch of food, but then she also dropped off 4 like bottles of this juice, and I've never had it before. And there are 2 quarts, so this is a 2-quart jug. So let me swish it.
Wow.
Get the ASMR in there. So she bought 4 of those. She bought like an entire gallon, basically. Oh, did you hear that?
Ooh. Is that time for our next segment?
No, it's so my roommate, she's having some people over, the film people. She filmed a short film with them, and I was in it today. It was pretty fun.
Not paying any heed.
I didn't.
Don't they see the podcast in progress sign? That's lit.
No, there's no podcast in progress sign.
Oh, that's right. We're just in our rooms.
If I ever get, let's say, if I ever earn $600.
Remember, guys, make sure to donate.
We have no donation sign. This podcast doesn't even exist right now, Spencer.
It doesn't exist. Literally doesn't exist right now. It literally
doesn't exist right now. But if I ever make $600 per episode, I will buy a podcast in progress sign. I will custom order a sign. It'll be like a giant neon sign. I'll put it right in front of my door, and I'll turn it on whenever I'm filming or whenever I'm recording. But until then,
there we go.
If that even ever happens, I don't think. Here's the thing.
If someone sees this in like some weird like folder that Charles has under his bed for some reason in a USB drive.
That's right. If someone, let's say a rich Chinese business mogul, listens to our podcast and is like one of our 20 viewers, and it's like, oh, I like this podcast, and it donates $600, then I will get a podcast in progress sign. But until then,
and we'll make sure to shout out that rich.
That's right. We'll be like, thank you. Let's say Benji Kwan the Third, and he'll get his own little. He'll get like
his own shout out
thing,
in our podcast with reviewers.
That's right. It'll warm their heart. Okay, so we haven't actually touched any of our topics at all. We've talked about podcasts we listen to, but besides that, we've talked about shower etiquette and like
that's important stuff to talk about. All right, don't get me wrong.
Man, we are old men. We're such old men. Oh my god! So today, when I was filming with the people, I wore flip flops there just because it was hot outside, And one of the girls goes, "My dad owns those exact flip flops."
Did you wear the flip flops while filming?
No.
They just,
I put
like,
on
didn't?
other shoes because I was a detective.
Oh.
I was gritty. I was gritty. I'm Batman. Yeah, but anyway.
Like they could just film from the waist up, though.
No, they filmed full frontal, baby.
Ooh.
Juicy.
I didn't know it was that kind of film.
Juicy. All right. Okay. All right. Let me have a look at this topic list. Okay. You know, here's a good one. D&D. We both love D&D.
Yeah.
Perhaps more than all of our other friends who play D&D with us. I feel like we are definitely bigger pen and paper RPG nerds than everyone else because they're just kind of here. Like Paul likes to min-max. You know, our friends
Just break everything.
Yeah, we have a min-maxer. We have a troublemaker, Zachary. He likes to just
He always
do
makes
crazy
fun of
stuff.
everyone.
And then we have the person who just doesn't really care, Kim. Kim doesn't really care. She's just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Oh, did you just roll dice?
I dropped a dice.
Oh man, what was it?
Yeah,
a nat 20?
I just have.
Was it a nat 20?
I just have some
was it a nat 20?
off on the side. That was a D4.
No, that's disappointing.
The ones that hurt the most. Step on it.
That's right. So, in terms of D&D, something interesting that I saw. I particularly love the homebrew community.
Yeah,
So
they go
do you
wild.
follow the D&D subreddit?
I do.
Yeah,
I look
so
at that
I love the homebrew on it, where it's like crazy stuff. Because, you know, it's fun to
Yeah,
see the
I've seen a
people's-
bunch of like the magic items that are like jokes.
like jokes? Like what? What kind
Like
of things?
Pocket sand. I've seen that. That was a magic item.
Is that literally just never-ending sand in your pocket?
It's a pocket, but it's a dimensional pocket, and it's always filled with sand.
That's great. That's amazing.
And you throw it at people, and it gives them disadvantage on their attack.
Mm-hmm. So we come at this from different perspectives because I'm mostly a player. I'm 100% a player. I don't like DM stuff. Seems like a lot of work planning all that stuff out.
Yes, yeah. For the most part, I mostly get like stuck as the DM. Like, you know, I really am not good at like asking people, "Hey, can I join your campaign?" I'm like, ooh, I need to make friends. And well, like the first
that is a
I
problem
had,
we have. We do need more friends for D&D.
see the first group that I really had like full campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I did a pre-made one that was like officially
Yeah.
published, but like I was like, oh, I have this, but how do I play with other people? And I pretty much like I had to be the DM at that point, and I had to just be like walk up to people.
Did
I'm like,
you
"Hey."
literally walk up to people on campus?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Were you at like a club or something though?
Okay, yeah, it was a club, so
Oh,
it
that's
was
so
somewhat.
disappointing. I thought it
It
was
was
gonna be
somewhat bad. I didn't just walk up to people
I thought it was
in the
gonna
street
be
like, "Hey, dude, you want to play D&D?"
Look, I don't
Like,
know how Sienna is. Okay, Sienna, you know, maybe you're able to just walk up to people like, "Hey, I have a D&D campaign. Do you want to be part of my campaign?" And they're like, "Yeah, bro, yeah, D&D." Like, I don't know these things.
Yeah, see, no, it was a gaming club. Everyone there is already in.
Mhm.
So,
so you had a sample size of nerds. That's good.
so I have a sample size of nerds, and I could have
Okay.
just asked around there, and I got like 4 people,
Damn.
and then 5 sessions of a pre-made campaign, and that was it.
Nice.
Or it was probably more than 5 sessions.
Yeah.
We did it like every week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
like-
that's a struggle of D&D groups.
I
Trying
know.
to get
Like,
people in the same place at the same time.
Sometimes people did miss certain weeks, but like
Mhm.
we consistently had 3 to 5 people
Mm-hmm.
each week.
That's impressive. I wish I could have that. So I go to Boston University. Alma mater. Garbage.
Ooh.
Hot garbage. Alright, anyway. So last year, my freshman year, I heard about a D&D like group in the freshman dorm. But I didn't live in the freshman dorm. I lived in the athletic dorm that was like 15 minutes away. And I tried to join the group, but like it was really difficult because it was so far away.
Oh,
And then I just gave up. I was like, look, I'm done. I don't need this. And in fact, they actually made a D&D podcast.
Oh.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
That.
Yeah.
Like I even there was somebody in the gaming club I was in. They had a podcast that they were doing.
Here we
too.
go. Okay, I found it.
Oh wow.
So let me give them a shout out because they were very into D&D. It's called You Might Be Wondering How We Got Here. And it looks like they last uploaded a month ago. But they started last year. And they filmed. They don't seem to have any episodes up though. I don't know why they don't have any episodes. Let me find this. Because they started this a while ago. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yeah, no, they don't have any episodes yet. God damn it. Okay.
Wow, so
that's disappointing. That's so disappointing. All they have are like short 1 to 2 minute videos of like theme music or typography or whatever this is. I don't even know. Like yeah, it's called D&D typography. Oh, here we go. Okay. I feel like they were suffering from idea like freezing, you know, where they just have, like
they have no clue.
They have an idea, but they didn't make anything. Because there's this video right here, and the thumbnail it's called "Just Start This Goddamn Podcast," and that's the thumbnail, but there's no podcast on it. And that video came out 3 months ago. That's so sad. Oh my god. I was hoping they would have had like at least 3 or 4 episodes out by now.
Yeah, like you know, yeah, D&D podcasts are like surprisingly like popular, and like it's so easy to make too, because like you just play D&D and
right,
that's it.
Because it's already a non-visual game.
It's already a non-visual thing. Critical Role, that's a huge.
Oh yeah, that's like one of the big boys. You know, that's the real thing. Because
like,
Matt Mercer's on it. Matt Mercer, call me. I would love to be part of your D&D podcast.
Yes,
with
like
my
such
crappy
a beautiful
setup
voice
and our inability to record to multiple files on OBS. This is the thing.
But yeah, like that's like the role model of all D&D podcasts.
Matt Mercer.
And people who play D&D.
That's right, Matt Mercer.
Like being a DM myself, most of the time, like. I've seen a couple episodes of Critical Role, and it's like I don't really know how he does it, to be honest, because he already has like everything. It seems like he has everything planned out just from the start, and like I don't really put too much time in world building or like fleshing out every single detail of a town. I mostly just pay attention to like the immediate story and how to advance that.
And then out of nowhere, weasel cults appear, and you know.
And then just out of nowhere, just completely random side thing. They're just stupid but funny.
Right. Look, the weasel cult was great. That was a great time.
I think I added that like last minute for like one of the things because Zach he wanted to just break into random houses. So I had to make one house filled with people who just loved weasels for some reason, and they're a cult because of it. I still don't really know why they do that. Because I never actually fleshed them out. They just really like weasels.
They just existed.
They have magic powers because of it.
So
I guess if you love something enough, like you get magic.
Yeah, that's right. Once you worship the weasel god. So one of my favorite parts about D&D is making characters and making them crazy and like some, you know. So, for example, my favorite character I've made so far is Cotton Eye Joe. Do you remember him?
Who?
Cotton Eye Joe. So, it's the construct artificer who had a gun.
It's that one.
And for the magic item, I chose, like, a hat of language or whatever. And it's just a cowboy hat. And I picked the background stranger far stranger from a strange
Far traveler?
Yeah, far traveler. And so one of the items is you get a token of your homeland, and I got a sheriff star. And so the artificer has like his gun. The gun is just his hand, and it's a 6-shooter in his hand. And I speak with a southern accent, basically, or like a cowboy accent.
Yeah, it's part of the far traveler.
That's right. Yeah, because you speak with a weird accent. Yeah. So I basically just made a robot cowboy, and it was great. It was a great time. That's why I love D&D so much. Is just being able to make those crazy characters. because I'm not, I'm not the kind of person who would write long-term stories or anything like that, because I don't have that kind of commitment to writing.
Like, even if you use like a pre-made thing, you still gotta put in a lot of work just because like it says, they meet this character, but it says not much about the character that they meet. So you pretty much have to make up what that character is like.
It's like playing Mad Libs, but D&D.
Mad Libs, but D&D.
Yeah.
Like, the big villain, like, oh, he's a villain, but like it doesn't say why. Like, it would say why he's a villain and probably what he's trying to do, but like it'll never really say what they're like. Like, if you talk with them, like, what are they gonna do? Are they just gonna be like, I'm just gonna murder you? Like, that's not.
I'm just gonna murder you. Thanks.
Nice. That's the perfect time for a commercial break. Right now, it's time for our sponsors. Am I right?
That's right. Yeah, our sponsors.
We got nobody.
We have no sponsors.
Nobody
We
wants
have
us.
no sponsors because this podcast doesn't exist yet.
It doesn't exist.
Here's the thing: to all of you sponsors out there, what's a Squarespace, Audible, Hover, Harry's, Trader Joe's, Amazon, Evil Corp, MeUndies. We will take your money. We will take your money to advertise for, let's say,
we'll reach
three people, 3 viewers.
3 people.
For a whole 3 viewers, we will advertise for you. One of them being me, one of them being Spencer, one of them being my mom. And my mom will just open it and not listen to it just so she can say she watched it.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you to our sponsors that don't exist yet. See you in the future.
See ya.
But no, have you ever tried any of the sponsored stuff? Like, have you ever gotten MeUndies or
like,
tried Audible or anything like that?
Like, some of them, they seem like good ideas, but like I don't really buy things that much.
They seem like great ideas, but I don't really buy things. I'm not really into that kind of
things.
That capitalist, that's the capitalist.
I'm not really into that whole capitalism thing. No, like
as you smoke your blunt.
Yeah, they're certainly neat, but like I just don't have that much money all the time, so I don't really just spend it. I normally just buy like super cheap things, and
I will spend like 4 hours just editing this podcast. Partially because its editing's difficult, but also because I have never edited before. So it'll be a fun first time.
Yeah, it's very easy to edit something.
Yeah, that's right. That's why everyone does it, right? That's why there's so many, things. Everyone's just like, editing's so easy. Let's just, easy.
Editing's so easy.
Why are you going to school for that?
Like, I can just, like, edit in my sleep, even.
That's right.
Wow.
In fact, I edit my dreams. It's called lucid dreaming, baby.
Ooh.
Oh my god, have you ever had a lucid dream, Spencer?
No.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't really understand how people are like, ooh, I lucid dream all the time. Like, I can't really understand that.
Well, I don't do it all the time, but I remember 2 specific instances. So one of my first memorable lucid dreams is, I was like, am I in a dream? Yeah, I'm in a dream. And I was like, the sky's gonna turn a different color. And then it turned a different color. It was great. And then I woke up. But that was one of the first instances. That was the first instance where I remember where it's like, I had a lucid dream. Then I also had one fairly recently where I was a journalist in a Middle Eastern country. And I was reporting on like a war there. But did you hear that?
Ooh.
There was someone ringing to get into the apartment. Another one.
So more people trying to invade. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get back to my dream. I was a journalist in a Middle Eastern country reporting on a war, and out of nowhere, all the soldiers die, and the devil walks out, and the devil is like, "Yo, I'm coming for you," and he's walking towards me, and I run away, and I fall. But I fall into a different dimension. And this is like a very green, it's like a forest, it was very grassy, and there was just this abandoned shack there. And I went into the abandoned shack, and for some reason in my head I was like, this is a dream, isn't it? And then I was like, that pipe is gonna break. And I snapped my fingers in my dream, and the pipe broke. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a dream, alright. And I started just altering the dream, and then the devil showed up. And I dueled the devil with my mind powers. It was great. It was so good.
Like, See, I can never really imagine being like anywhere semi-conscious and thinking about it in your dream. Like, I can't imagine because I'm either blacked out or I'm in an awkward situation. Like, that's pretty much
Are
it.
you sure those aren't dreams and that's just you getting really, really drunk?
Hey,
I'm either blacked out or in really
I'm-
awkward situations. Spencer, are you a secret alcoholic?
I'm a good boy. I don't do that.
I'm a good boy. Is that right? It's okay. We're boring people. We don't go to parties.
Yeah, we're pretty
We're
boring.
pretty boring people.
Yeah, if anyone's listening to this, like, we're really boring.
Yeah,
Why are you
disclaimer.
listening to this?
We are really boring people.
If we're not, so you should just stop listening
Right now, right
if
now.
you've listened this far, like, how?
I want each episode to be roughly an hour, like a little under an hour, maybe. I don't want it to
Alright.
be one of those really, really long podcasts because
Like,
you have to be entertaining to have a long podcast like that.
Yeah, you gotta be entertaining. We're not.
But also, I want less work for myself when I edit. So if I can just be like, cut, it would make my life a lot easier. It also just puts a lot less pressure on us to be on our game at all times. We can just talk and, this may or may not get cut. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's just have fun,
You're right.
right? So,
Like, what I'm about to say right now, I'm gonna say something very inappropriate. Oh
my god,
that's,
I'm
you
going
gotta
to...
cut that. You
No,
can't,
no, no,
you
no,
can't
no,
put
no,
that
no.
on the internet.
I'm gonna bleep that. I'm gonna leave that
Leave
in.
that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna bleep that, so that way it sounds like you said something way worse than you said.
Listen, if people figure out what I said, like, I'm gonna instantly get arrested.
That's right.
I mean,
so it's just gonna be like, I'm gonna say
people
something
can't
really
do that.
offensive right now. Beep.
Like, just don't kill anyone.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. Oh man, that's
Alright,
gonna
so-
actually be a really fun exercise though. Learning how to like insert audio.
All right, so let's get.
All right, let's go to another topic.
So, Charles, I'm gonna be questioning you.
Oh my!
So, recently
my.
you visited Zach and such in Japan.
I did.
How
I
was
did.
your trip? So, yeah, your trip. How was entering the country first like?
It was awful. Oh my god. Okay, here's the thing. When you go on that plane to Japan, at first you're like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm going to a foreign country. But then it's a 13-hour flight. And
Oof.
I had never gone on flights longer than 7 hours to go to Oregon, which we will be going to very soon.
Yep.
And around hour 10, I was starting to lose track of my humanity. I don't know what was going on. My butt was so uncomfortable because I was flying economy because I'm a poor pleb. And, and I was like, why am I even on this plane? I was like, I'm starting to regret getting on this plane.
Like,
And that was 10 hours in.
why?
And every subsequent hour just got worse. It got worse. So I tried to go to sleep, but the problem...
But you're still like, where am I?
The problem...
Whoa.
One of the problems was I had gotten a plane in Boston about 24 hours before that. Because we got on a plane from Boston to LA. Then we had a layover, then from LA to Japan. So I hadn't changed my clothes in 24 hours. And like, it's hot. I was sweaty. And there's this little Japanese girl sitting next to me. I assume she was Japanese. I felt so bad for her because she's like half my size, and she's just kind of like trying to squirm away from me. Probably because I have, I haven't changed clothes in 24 hours. She's covering her nose, and this is a 13-hour flight, and I just felt so bad. I tried to squish into the window. I tried so hard, but 13 hours in, it was awful. It was an awful flight. Oh my god. The first couple hours were fine, but then it just started going downhill from there.
So how's like going into the airport? Like,
Oh, okay.
landing.
So
and,
you
like,
land,
first
right?
entering?
You land, and they check your stuff. Then you go to the visa place, where... So there's the visa place where you have to enter the country. They have to stamp your passport.
Gotta make sure you're not smuggling anything.
That's right. So there are two separate sections. One of them is the Japanese section, and it's just, 3 or 4 little. Have you been on like a subway where you tap a card and then there's a
Yeah.
turnstile? It's like that. Just 3 or 4 of them for the Japanese people. You know, they're quietly walking through. They scan their passport. They go through. Everyone's fine. Then you go to the foreign section. Then you go to the immigrant section, which is us, and it is about 15 booths, and each booth has a Japanese security person in there checking your passport, and like they're really ready. They had 15 people plus like 6 or 7 people on the outside of the booths just watching us, and I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen at this airport?
So, like, if you would have done something wrong, like, they would have all immediately came at you.
Here's the thing. They all had security badges, but it was like old Japanese men, old Japanese women. It was probably one of those jobs where like nothing ever happens. But...
So it's like they just grab random people, like, yeah, you're a security guard now.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of qualification.
Yeah, those people could not have caught me. Even if all 7 of them jumped on me, they were like 120 pounds, frail old people. The security guards in the booths, though, they were legit. They were legit. Those guys could have tackled me.
Swole.
So, the foreign section, much worse. The line was so much longer. The process to go into the country was so much longer. I assume it makes sense. You know, it's foreigners. I get it. But it took a long time, and I was just sad.
For that trip, you were mostly in Tokyo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I heard Tokyo's like one of the most dense places in terms of population.
Oh my god.
How was that?
Oh my god. Let me tell you right now. As a fat Asian dude, fat quotes, just as a big guy.
Large guy.
I'm a large dude.
You're not fat, Charles.
I'm thick. I'm thick.
Thick.
Thick with 2 C's. One of the C's in my name. But anyway, there were so many Japanese people, and a lot of them are very skinny, and then they're just next to me. And I take up so much space. So in like the subway or in the street, I always try to shrink down and like try not to be in people's way. But I still end up in someone's way because I'm so big. So I was constantly on the train having to like move side to side, put my bag in different places, and like try to move around. Trying to not be in people's way. It was awful. But that's because we were in Tokyo. We were in a very dense part of the city. We were actually in Shinjuku, which is the tourist part, and that's crazy dense. I saw a lot of Americans though, actually.
Hey, you give the high five? Like,
no,
yeah,
I didn't. They actually thought I was Japanese, or like they thought I was Asian. A lot of them. They didn't realize I was American, which makes sense.
If they can't see a true red-blooded American, like
if they don't notice the American flag that I keep on me all the time,
the American flag we have in our hearts.
That's right. Yeah. I saw a lot of foreigners. Let me tell you something funny. So when we landed in Japan, we were really tired. We were really hungry. So we go to the Shinjuku train station, and we're like, "What kind of food do we want?" And the first thing we see is pizza. And
like, oh, pizza. What can go wrong?
We saw a pizza. I don't remember what was that brand. Let me look it up. I think it was called like 8,000 degrees or like 4,000 degree pizza or something like that.
That instantly
1,000 degrees Neapolitan pizza. I had eaten this in LA 16 hours ago. I had eaten it before I got on the plane. Then I got to Japan and I ate it again. I ate it again. First thing I ate in Japan, the same thing I ate. The last thing I ate in LA.
Was it any different, or was it like...
It was exactly the same. Exactly the same.
You're so adventurous,
Except
Charles.
they didn't have any meats. They didn't really have any meats in Japan. So, like, LA had pepperoni, sausage. I had, like, a meat lover's pizza. But in Japan, they didn't have that. All they had was, like, chicken. So I was like, I'll take the chicken. Whatever. I'm hungry. And I ate it. I ate a whole large pizza by myself. But I was still hungry. So Zach and his sister hadn't finished their pizzas. So I ate the rest of their pizzas, too. It was great. I love the food. The food was so good.
The food?
Yeah, it was so good.
So, you probably visited a couple weird places. So what's the strangest place you visited there?
Strangest place I visited? I want to say it was a little weeb shop. a weeb shop. WEEB, not WEED. Not the devil's lettuce. The
No,
Japanese
don't touch that
stuff. I was buying gifts for people, because they're weebs too. My roommates are huge, like they enjoy Japanese culture, so I bought them some stuff. And the first floor, that was just on the street level, is just like a normal store. They sell figurines, they sell keychains. It's like a souvenir store, but just anime, very manga/anime. And I walk in, I'm looking around. There's some K-pop, there's some J-pop, there's some anime. Then I buy my stuff. Then I'm exiting. But then as I'm exiting, I notice a little set of stairs on the side, and the sign says 18 plus.
Oh no!
And I was like, that's very strange. And I just peek in. I peek in.
Your first instant, yeah.
I peek in. I look. I don't go inside because I'm like, this is weird. I might be 18 plus, but this is still weird. I peek in, and it's just like a bunch of Japanese men, old to young, and they're all buying like the Tenga, or like anime hentai dojin.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Truly
And then I
people.
left. And as I'm walking down the stairs, I see people looking at me. I'm like, oh crap! They must think I'm a huge bird.
Wait, I wasn't looking at that.
And I had a
I
bag.
was just walked in.
And I had a bag too from that store. And the bag upstairs were the same bags that they put it in downstairs. So I'm like,
Oh no!
And I had like 4 or 5 bags.
Oh no!
It was so
that dude
great.
is just such a huge.
It was so
What?
great. Oh my god, it was so great. What else? Oh, I also visited another store just like that. I was looking for board games. We actually bought Coup. You remember Coup?
Just they got that.
Coup,
in
yeah,
Japan,
they had
too?
Coup, but it wasn't the space theme that we had. It was like a medieval themed Coup.
Oh.
Yeah, so we bought that. So I was looking for it in stores. So I looked up on Google like game stores or whatever. And that store came up, and I walked in. It's like on the 5th floor. The elevator was really crowded, so I didn't even bother. I just started walking up, and every floor was like a different culture. It was so great. So first floor is just like a normal department store. Medicine, candies, whatever, like normal stuff you need at any sort of 99-cent store. Second floor was a sushi place. Way overpriced. Way overpriced. I didn't go there. Third floor was a Chinese restaurant, but it was like very authentic. As a Chinese person. It was very authentic. I looked in, and it was just like Chinese people speaking Mandarin. I was like, oh man, that's real. Fourth floor is a wine bar, but it's closed for the summer. They were like, we'll be back in the fall.
Ooh.
And then the fifth floor, Spencer. I walk in, immediately, giant poster in front of me, from the ceiling to like my eye level, naked anime girl.
Oh.
Naked anime girl. I was like, oh.
Good stuff.
I was like, oh. I didn't realize this was that kind of store. Whatever. They must have the games in a back corner or something. I walk in. This store was a little bit more diverse. There were men and women, old and young. I go up to the counter, and it's like this little Japanese woman. I'm like, hi. With my Japanese, my really crappy Japanese, I was like, do you have any games here? And she looks at me. And I swear to God, Spencer, she had this look on her face like I was the biggest idiot in the world. She was like, no, we don't sell games in Japanese. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I leave. And I turn around and I look. It is a long ass store. It's like the length, like an actual building length. And it's very thin. It's a very, the width of the room was very small. On either side, just layers, bookcases of anime, dojin, and hentai, and like body pillows and random little things. I was like, oh, I probably should have looked around first before I asked.
Probably should have knew what store I just walked in.
I left, and I walked back down, and I went back to the hotel. And I was like, Zach, I didn't get the board game.
Just never... Don't talk about that except for talking about that on our podcast. So now people know that you walk into those kind of stores.
Look, people don't know us. We're anonymous. We're not public
you're right,
figures.
except we did say our name.
Just our first names.
You're right, that's right.
We didn't even say where we were from.
You didn't even say where we're
people
from.
only know that you're from Siena, but that's like, And then I'm from Boston, quote unquote. So
we're from there. Ooh, where are we?
We're mysterious people. In before someone like tracks us.
Immediately doxxed. Like we don't even release it yet, and we're already doxxed.
That's right. We're already doxxed. Oh, so here's the fun highlights. We went to the limestone Nipara cave. It was a really cool cave. It was really wet though. But let me tell you something about the limestone cave. They had metal stairs, and they were like maintenance stairs. They were really small and really, really steep because the cave was really, really steep. And I swear to God, I almost died 3 times. 3 separate times I slipped because it was wet.
Did they have you sign a waiver before you went in there?
No, they didn't.
Oh,
I think it was on the ticket or something. The waiver was probably on the ticket, but I almost slipped and died several times. And I see a bunch of people, like these old Japanese ladies with their families, with their grandkids and their kids, and they're walking up, and they're so out of breath by the time they get to the top of the stairs because it's so high, right? Because the caves are like underground cliffs basically. They're so high. Even I was starting to be like, oh, I'm getting a little sweaty here, like we've been climbing for so long. Good thing is though, I had a good grip of the handrails. I didn't die. If you're wondering, I'm not a ghost talking.
Okay, that's good. I was scared for a little bit.
I could have been a force ghost.
After hearing your story.
I could have been a force ghost,
what?
Spencer. What if I was a force ghost?
Force ghost? Mm-hmm. I would be impressed. There's only a few certain Jedi Masters are able to master that technique.
We went to a mountain. So that mountain, the Nipara caves are on a mountain. And the mountain was really beautiful. We took a train there. So we took a train to basically the base of the mountain. And then we took a bus to the top of the mountain. Or roughly the top. Like more like the 3/4 up the way. And we walked to the cave. But before the cave, there's this little shack. It's pretty small. It could fit maybe like 30 people. And it's just a rest stop. And they were selling food and little keychains and stuff like that. In fact, I actually have a keychain here.
What?
I have a keychain here. Let me.
So, like, was the mountain just for the caves, or is it like a?
No, it was a legit place where people lived. But the caves were like really popular for tourists too. So they set up a rest stop for us, basically.
Specifically for you?
For tourists, yeah, for tourists. It's like a permanent structure. They just happen to have people working there and stuff. But yeah, I'll include a photo in the show notes because that's a thing for podcasts. You can put photos in the notes. Let me put away my keys. But my favorite thing about that mountain was the people who actually live there, like as normal, like their normal lives of just being on the mountain, because they're so high up, and it's like 2 hours away from Tokyo by train. And in fact, Zach and his sister didn't go. Because,
wow.
Yeah, they slept in. They slept in because we left really early. I was with his other sister and her girlfriend, and it was a long train ride. It was like a 2-hour train ride. And we also had to make like 3 different transfers because the line that went from Tokyo into the countryside didn't go all the way to the mountain. And we actually got lost. We were like, oh, we got on this wrong train. So we had to go back. We had to backtrack to like a central hub and then take another train to the actual mountain.
Yeah, like the public transportation in Japan. Is that like much better
oh my
in
God.
US?
Oh my God. Spencer, I'm so jealous. I'm jealous of so many things in Japan. One of them being their public transport. So they have screens that tell you like, oh, the next train's coming at 3:35. Their trains come every like 2 or 3 minutes. They're fast. They're on time. It was amazing. Unlike Boston and New York City, where it's like it's a hit in the dark. It's a miss. It's a hit or miss kind of thing, where the train could come at 3:35 or it could come at 4 o'clock. You don't know. It's really funny.
See, it's really US. Like it's just. Public transportation is really only in like those big city areas.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And like even then they could be.
I actually wonder how big Japan is compared to the U.S. because Japan's really tiny. Like it's not that big.
Well, it's big like up and down. Like
yeah, I'll just look at like their square miles.
Got to be like at least as big as The East Coast.
Okay, so Japan is 145,000 miles, square miles. Let's have a look at like how the states are. States, U.S. square miles. So let's compare. Japan is roughly the size of Montana. Like the entirety of Japan is roughly the size of Montana. That's crazy.
All of it is just
Yeah, I mean the U.S. is huge, so it would be really difficult to try and create public transport for the whole thing. Oh wow! Did you know the state that we're both from, Connecticut, is only 5,500 square miles? It's the 48th smallest state.
Well, at least we're bigger than Rhode Island.
We are bigger than Rhode Island. We are, in fact, bigger than Rhode Island.
It's just one of the two states that we're bigger than.
Delaware and Connecticut are bigger than Rhode Island. That's it. That's all.
Let's see. We got another topic to pull off.
Okay, well, okay. Let me talk about the things that I want Japan to bring to America. So, number 1, better public transport, obviously. Number 2, bidets.
The days?
Bidets. Have you ever used a bidet?
Oh, bidet.
Yeah, bidet, where it shoots water up your butt.
That's right. I've heard good stuff about some of the bathrooms there.
Okay, so in Japan, most places have bidets. And they are so good. They are so good because when you wipe and you've used a bidet, there's almost nothing left after the bidet because the water pressure is good. I want one for my apartment. I wish I could get one, but I can't.
It's such a weird concept, but like I guess it does work.
It was so great. When I came back to America, I was like, this sucks. This sucks. I hate just...
You're just like, I miss the toilets in Japan.
That's right.
Like the only thing you miss.
I do miss that. Okay, let me tell us another story about Japan that was great. So when one of our first days there, we were looking for food, and Zachary, our friend, he hates Japanese food. He hates food that isn't American. Okay?
I could complain about him all day.
You complain about him all day?
I can't.
Okay, but
So.
he basically was like, I want pancakes. And I was like, sure, let's get pancakes. Whatever, I don't really care. I'll probably eat more food later. And he's like, oh, there's a Denny's, like a mile away.
Just a Denny.
Yeah, there's a Denny's. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's go to Denny's. So all of his siblings and we all go to Denny's. We walk in. Immediately, the first thing I notice, it's full of middle-aged Japanese men. They're all like businessmen, right? Then I look at their food. No one's eating pancakes. No one's eating bacon or American food at all. They're all eating like rice and Japanese like food. It's like very authentically Japanese. And we're in a Denny's. So
Wow.
what I would learn later is that Denny's is some of the most like authentic Japanese food that we had up until that point. Because all we'd had before was like the pizza. And like some fast food. And
See, the thing,
Go ahead.
I know that America, we have breakfast food down most part. Like, America breakfast food, I know for a fact that stuff's great.
So I was really excited because I was like, oh, real Japanese food. I ordered like this rice with ginger, pork, and like miso soup, and like seaweed. It was great. It was great. Zach, on the other hand, he got fried chicken because they didn't have pancakes. It was too late for breakfast, basically.
Oh.
I enjoyed it. I was like, damn, this is great. I love authentic Japanese food.
So like you ever get hit with any like stereotypical American thing? You ever see any of those there? Because I like seeing American stereotypes. So do you see any sort of things like that, like an American store or American restaurant?
Oh, you mean like that? I did actually. I saw a lot of Italian places for some reason. They're really into the Italian and like French stuff for some reason. I saw some American stuff. Like it just had America on it, like the logo of America on it, and that's about it. I didn't remember seeing much else. Oh, that reminds me of owl cafes and cat cafes and bunny cafes. Oh my god. Oh my god, Spencer. They were so cute.
Cafes filled with cats.
They were so cute. Oh my god, Spencer. Okay, so the cat cafe, worst cafe, actually, out of all the other animal cafes, because the cats are really spoiled, so they don't want to play with you. They just want to like eat food.
Wow. So
they were a dud. They were kind of boring. But then the bunny cafe though, the bunny cafe was great. The bunnies were really energetic. One of them bit me actually.
Wow.
Because I was walking into the pen and they were running. They were trying to run out of the pen, but they were coming up against my leg basically because I had it like stopping the door, and it bit me. And I was like, God damn it! And then the Japanese woman running it was like, ha 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 ha.
They're not like, oh, are you okay? They're like, haha, you just got bit by a rabbit. What a...
But the rabbits are great. I have a bunch of photos. I'll put those in the show notes too. They're cute. They're cute rabbits.
So I think animal cafes. I don't like those at all. Like those, it's stupid. All right. Like I understand that you want to pet animals and stuff, but like, so it's a cafe, right? So you got to have food there too, right?
Right. No, they had food. They had drinks.
So like, I don't want to be like petting animals and then eating food. If you know what, like.
I get it. They didn't actually have any food. They just had drinks.
They just had drinks?
Yeah.
That's a bit better, but...
So, oh my god, Spencer, the drinks were so amazing. Not the drinks themselves, but the machines they came in. The vending machines they came in were amazing. Oh my god, Spencer.
The Japan vending machines?
Yeah, they're so good. So, for example, out on the streets, almost every street corner in Shinjuku just has like a vending machine. They have this thing called a Suica pass. I have mine right here. It's a train pass basically, and you put money into it. But you can also use it to buy drinks at every single vending machine. And it's like a nationwide thing, as long as you're near like a city roughly. So all around the country, I could have used this pass to buy drinks. I could use it at certain stores to buy food. It was so great.
Wow. So some of the vending machines sometimes would have, like weird foods in them and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Is there like soup vending machines?
One of them had curry tomato soup in a can, just like a normal drink. So
like, I can't imagine going to a vending machine
getting like curry soup.
soup.
It wasn't hot though. It was like in a can, so it was probably cold. But I tried a bunch of their drinks. So one of them was called like lemon kirin, and it was basically Sprite. It was basically Japanese Sprite. It tasted the same as Sprite. They just had a different container on it, and I was like, oh man. Turns out, the soda isn't actually that great.
Isn't there like a really lax like copyright law or something? So they could just like copy whatever they feel like?
It tasted exactly like Sprite. It was exactly... I thought it was like going to be a lemonade, like a very nice lemonade. It had a dragon on the bottle. I was like, oh, this is going to taste great. I open it. It fizzes. I'm like, that's weird. Why is it fizzing? I drink it. Is this Sprite?
Like, oh, hey, I'm going to have a neat drink. This is just
Sprite. Then I had something called Pocari Sweat. It's like a sports drink. It's just Gatorade. It was just like the blue Gatorade. You know that light blue? That light blue flavor? It was that exactly.
Oh, yeah. I guess there's just some things that are just everyone likes.
Yeah, sugar. Sugar.
High everyone likes sugar.
Syrup, yeah. Take a drink of my pineapple orange guava juice. Sponsor me.
Nice. Yeah. Juice companies.
Sponsor us.
We like drinking juice.
Langer's pineapple orange guava, no high fructose corn syrup, GMO-free cocktail. Sponsor me. I will drink your juices while I'm recording this podcast. Also, sponsor me, tap water of the Boston City.
Tap water, Boston Municipal. Sponsor.
Tap water. You know what they say about Big Tap, right? Big
just
tap.
Makes you want to tap dance.
Yeah, Big Tap. Okay, let me tell you about my favorite vending machine in Japan. Absolute favorite. Food vending machines. And I don't mean food vending machines like little sandwiches or anything. I mean in restaurants, they have vending machines. So you don't even have to talk to a human being. You could literally walk in, order on the vending machine, give them the ticket, and they just give you the food. And no words have to be exchanged between you two.
Oh, that...
So the one place that I went to specifically is called Ichiran Ramen. It's this 24-hour ramen place. It's pretty popular. And it's like this really old-fashioned vending machine too. So it only accepts cash. You can't use your card or anything like that. And it prints out a little ticket. And the little ticket you give to the person who, when you sit down, you give it to the person. But you don't give it to them personally. You put it in a little dish, you hit a button, and they come take it from you. So the restaurant was set up like a bar, where there's, on either side of the room, there's bar seating. And there's a little window. And that window is usually covered by like a bamboo mat. And when you hit the button, they open it up and take your ticket, and they close it, and then they give you the food, and whatever. So basically, it was It was an introvert's dream. It was my dream. I loved it. I never had to say a word. It was great.
I don't like talking to restaurant people.
Mm-hmm.
So just getting a ticket and being like, here's a ticket, give me food. That's
my
nice.
god. You know what's even better? No tip. No tipping, Spencer.
Ooh.
No tipping was the greatest thing because the price of their employment was included in the food. Oh my god.
That's how you see it.
It was
Tipping,
so good.
You're like, you have to tip or else like they're just not going to get paid enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like other countries and stuff, like no tipping is the way to go, like, because you get a steadier wage.
And I get the fewer confusion. I don't have to think about, how much am I going to leave? This is a foreign currency. What do I leave? No. It was included in the price of the food. And even better, their food were really nice, even numbers. So Japanese yen is roughly a little bit less than a cent, right? Every yen is roughly like 80%, 90% of a cent, whatever it is. And they usually had prices like 300 yen, 400 yen. And so you could just take off 2 zeros and you have roughly the American dollar number.
Say that they don't do the -1, and then it's like,
they didn't have,
only $2.99.
Yeah, they didn't have that garbage. They were just like, look, it's 300 yen. It's like 450 yen. It was so great.
That's some honest business.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Okay.
All right, enough about Japan. You know, people can Google that stuff.
Yeah, go Google.
You know what they can't Google? You know what they can't Google, Spencer?
Can they Google?
You complaining about Zach.
You're right.
Okay, name the number one thing that you would complain about.
Should I just go on a tangent and just complain about
Number one thing.
And then we'll share this whole podcast?
Number one thing. I might cut this section out. It might get too intense. You might attack him too personally.
You're going to cut this section out and then just like send it to him. All right.
Hey guys. This section was too offensive for us to publish.
If it's edible, like, I'll totally eat it.
If it's edible,
I'll just say that. If it's edible, I'll eat it. In the words of Andrew Zimmerman from Bizarre Foods on the Travel Channel, like, I'll eat anything.
Yo, food sponsors.
Food sponsors.
McDonald's, Burger King.
McDonald's, sponsor me, give me
If
food.
it's edible, I'll eat it. That man is ready to eat your garbage. Don't disregard the fact that I just called your food garbage. Sponsor us.
Exactly. It's delicious garbage.
Mm-hmm. Delicious garbage. Maybe that should be our podcast slogan. Delicious garbage.
Delicious garbage. You like listening to it, but it's absolutely garbage.
It's just terrible, yeah.
Terrible.
You know, we actually haven't come up with a name for this podcast yet.
You do that on like the 5th episode.
On the 5th episode, yeah. So when I publish this, what should I call it?
You just say, you call it a podcast first, and then you'd come up with it. No, I don't know how.
So I was thinking of some ideas. The most like stupid, dumb idea would be like the Charles and Spencer podcast, you know, like the normal show. But what I was also thinking of is called PP, because that's our Discord, like, you know, our Discord name is called Podcast Planning. This is where we do our thing. And the Discord thing only puts the first 2 letters of the first words.
Charles, you just said an inappropriate word. You can't say that.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my god. I'm gonna cut in the clip of you saying it now, but this time I'm gonna unbleep it so that people can hear you say it right here.
Like what I'm about to say right now, I'm gonna say something very inappropriate. PP. Okay.
Oh man, that's great. But yeah, I mean, we should come up with a name.
Name for a podcast. See, coming up with a name for anything is always the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the editing. It's not the recording. It's
Nope.
none of that. It's the name.
None of that.
The
It's
name
the
has
name.
to be perfect.
Sure, it'll probably take like 5 minutes to come up with a name, but like
Mhm.
everything, that's the hardest part though.
Because here's the thing: if we do this on a consistent basis, and if we ever do this into after we finish college, we have to have a name for it. Because Spencer, I want this podcast to last, even if we only get 3 views per video. I want to make a podcast.
But that's 3 views.
You're right. I want to make a podcast at the very least once every 2 or 3 months, and that's my goal. Because we'll probably be really busy when we grow up, and we're even really busy right now as students. So.
Yeah.
Although you're taking a year off, which I think sounds great.
Yeah, so I'm not busy, but I'll probably be
maybe you should edit
busy.
this podcast.
Oh yeah, I'll just load up that Adobe or whatever
right.
you use.
No, you could use Audacity actually, because this is just going to be audio.
Is that better?
It's free. That's the only.
Ooh.
Audacity is free. It's probably not like better, but it's
Open
definitely
source.
free. Yeah, it's definitely free. So. No, I'm joking. I actually want to learn the editing, so I'll do it.
Right.
What's a good name? Let's go here. It has to be something pithy. Podcast name generator. Let's do it.
Let's just name generator it.
Okay, enter 1 or 2 keywords. PP.
Just beep. Oh man. Oh. If you got a name like that.
Guava, juice, and what's our last keyword? Give me a keyword. Mad Libs it. Grown. You're grown. Alright, let's do it. PP guava juice grown. Generate. Oh, you can only have a maximum of 2 words. Okay. PP grown. Let's generate this. Generate me, bro. PP Incorporated. PP Industries.
Ooh, nice.
PP Development.
Development.
Yeah, development.
We certainly develop PPs.
PP
Right,
Ridge.
listeners.
You know, all great names. Oh, and then they have like adjacent names. Okay. Let's see what this. Oh, PP Technologies. PP Academy. PP Academy.
PP Academy. This is starting to sound like some weird.
I don't think this is the business we wanted to start.
This is what we want to get into. Like, our parents told us don't do that kind of business.
That's so funny. Oh man. Okay. All right. Legitimate naming. Okay. I was thinking podcast pals. I just thought of it. Podcast pal, but it's got to be like a podcast
That's
already.
so basic. We could
Yep. Podcast pals are already a podcast. Let's have a look
of
at
course.
this. They are.
Do something about us being loving about complaining about things.
Okay, so podcast pals, Andrew and Cecil, who, it's a podcast like curation site. I should contact them about make this our podcast front page.
Get ourselves as the next big podcast.
The front page. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So something complaining. We like to complain.
The complaint department.
Complaints department. Oh my god, that's gotta exist.
It has to be.
The complaints
it's too good.
department podcast. That's gotta be. Oh, it is. No.
It is. Yeah.
It
it's
is.
Too good
Oh
not
no.
to be taken.
The complaint department. Mike, Joey, and Howard. The complaint department. 3 grown white men complain about anything and everything. We're so unoriginal. We're so unoriginal.
That's literally us.
Except that it's 1 white guy, you, 1 Asian guy, me, complaining about very specifically our friend Zachary.
Yeah, it's very specifically that
and
one guy. That's
bathrooms.
going to be our whole podcast. We're just going to complain about this one guy.
That's right. God damn, that was such a good name.
Oh man, I was proud of myself for a little bit thinking about that.
You were proud of yourself, yeah.
But like, it was too good not to be taken.
I would say Charles in Charge, but that's copyrighted, I think.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good too. So that's probably if it's actually
That's
good
the
name.
TV show.
Any good names, they're gonna be taken.
They're gonna be taken.
So we have to come up with
a bad name.
stupid,
Yeah, a really bad name.
really bad name. PP boys.
PP boy.
We got PPs.
PP boys, yeah.
There we go. That's our podcast now. No, I don't want that to our podcast. People get the wrong ideas.
They're like, oh my, PP podcast. Let me just load this in for a long
I'm
night.
interested in that.
And it's like, wait a minute, this isn't a PP podcast.
Could be Spencer's podcast by Charles.
Yeah.
It shouldn't incorporate our names because that's not.
I think that's dumb.
interesting.
Yeah, I think that's dumb.
That's
I don't
dumb.
want. Oh man, what's a good name? Grown Up Grumblers. Or like Grown Ups Grumble.
We're still young adults. That makes it sound like we're middle-aged.
Okay.
I'd like to say that I'm still youthful.
Young people protest. Oh, then we can be the PP boys. We can still be the PP boys. Young people protest.
The young PP.
Oh my god, I'm renaming.
Wait, that's even worse.
Young people protest. I'm naming it right now. Young people protest. Let me.
Okay, you know what? That's good enough.
For now. For now.
YPP.
YPP. Young people protest. Young people protest. See, look at that. See, look at that Discord.
Ooh.
YPP.
Young.
And then once we turn like
that's not good.
40, we can rename it.
Then we rename it
to Grown Ups Grumble.
Grown Ups Grumble. And
no, I'm just joking. Yeah, we're not gonna come up with a good name today. It's not happening. But
see, we're gonna have a whole story arc for this podcast.
That's right. It'll take us 36 episodes to come up with a final name.
Episodes.
That's right.
We're gonna have the redemption arc in the middle of this. Have a guest do something bad, and then they're gonna redeem
a redemption
themselves.
Arc.
A whole redemption arc.
You're thinking 26 steps ahead of me. I'm not ready for that.
Like,
I'm only thinking of one step ahead, which is I have to edit the podcast. Okay. All right, so I have to go record some lines for someone. So why don't we cut it here, and we can come back in the future when we want to record another episode.
So would you say that's the first episode?
That's the first episode right there. It was a good
there
time.
There we go.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. We're gonna be on YouTube, right? So like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, make sure to hit the bell icon.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give me money.
Remember, donate.
I'm not setting up a Patreon or anything until we reach at the very least 1,000 views, like just on an episode.
On it.
Yeah.
That. Where do we even put it though?
I'm doing it on YouTube probably. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, and SoundCloud, and I don't know, I'm sure
whatever podcasts are available.
Oh yeah, whatever podcast listening app you have. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave us 5 stars. Oh, iTunes.
5 stars on iTunes.
I'll put it on iTunes. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay. All right, that's good. All right, thanks for listening. Have a great day. And
all right,
remember,
wait, we need to have a catchy slogan though.
Oh, a catchy slogan?
Catchy slogan we say when we leave.
I have no catchy slogan.